It's time now for County-Wide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join Paul David and Brad Miller as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics that affect all our lives here in Yavapai County. And now, here's today's County-Wide.
Our countdown. Welcome to County-Wide. I'm Paul David. Good to have you in studio today. Barry Allen with the Oak Creek Watershed Council in studio, the executive director. We had him in last year. I think this is the third time we've had you in, Barry.
It is, yes.
Back when we were first started, and you guys were going through Oak Creek Canyon looking for E. coli contaminants and where they were coming from. Then last year you were doing that study and putting that report together.
Yes.
And then this year we're moving forward still.
I appreciate the opportunity to come on back.
Thanks for coming back, because you guys are charging on and you're getting things done. And we like to see that. That is really excellent. So let's start right there. Before we get too far started, any information you want to know about the Oak Creek Watershed Council, you can go to oakcreekwatershed.org. That's a great place to go. I went to the website this morning. A lot of information on there. A couple of videos on there as well.
There is?
About
yes.
things you're working on. So should we start with the grant?
Sure.
Okay, you received a grant. Tell me about this grant.
Well, it's from ADEQ and through EPA. The grant is, we call it an outreach grant, but essentially we have a couple of technical projects. One of them is we're planning to, in partnership with the Forest Service, we're planning to build vault toilets at Midgley Bridge,
okay.
Which is desperately in need of it.
Yeah, that seemed like a good place to put them.
Yes, yeah. And we're also going to be hiring, once again in partnership with the Forest Service, going to be hiring 4 technicians, probably from CREC. And
what's CREC?
Is the Coconino Rural Environmental Corps.
Okay.
And they will be Oak Creek ambassadors. They're going to be traveling the Oak Creek corridor for about 6 months, and they will be meet and greet visitors, give them information on the outdoor ethics and what's expected of folks when you're recreating around Oak Creek. And also they'll be picking up trash and doing a variety of other things. Mm-hmm. So, and then we have a third project that is an actual cleanup of Oak Creek. And this will be through our Friends of Oak Creek, which is our volunteer group with the Oak Creek Watershed Council. And they will be going to probably about 40 sites that are concentrated recreational sites. And they will be cleaning them up, and I expect they'll be out several times a month. We were planning on a couple of times a month.
I'm sure.
We're going to be flexible with the volunteers and have 2-person teams, and they can go out when they want, that kind of thing. So,
real quick, how many volunteers do you have right now?
Well, we have probably around 50, and we're putting that whole thing together. You know, we had 50 on the previous grant, and it takes a little time to get to that point, but with people, on vacation, et cetera. So,
sure, but you'd take more, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, right.
And if you would not mind telling the telephone number, we would love to have them, which is 928-554-5460. And
okay.
if you want to volunteer, please call us and let us know. If you've got an hour or two, that's what we're looking for.
It's all on the website, too.
It's all on the website.
Okay, so yes. oakcreekwatershed.org. All this information that Barry and I are going to talk about this morning will be found right there on that website. Okay, keep going.
Well, after that, we're going to do a video of the watershed, and it will essentially be about our Oak Creek community outreach program. We want to highlight the various messages that we want people to look at, take away, and we're interested very much in raising the standards of behavior of folks. Not that they're bad, but we have a problem with E. coli, as you know, in the creek. It's an exceedance at many times during the year.
We've seen it close down Slide Rock a few times, at least the swimming at Slide Rock
has been, yes, that's usually one of the major areas, but it also happens all throughout.
So, correct.
Sure. And so anyway, the program we put together, isolates various messages for various types of problems or events or whatever that can cause E. coli in Oak Creek. So, and for instance, dog feces. And so folks that are out by the creek walking their dog, and if they don't pick that poop up, then that it causes E. coli if it gets into the creek.
in the water.
And eventually it does get into the creek, even if it sits there and gets washed in. So, and we have another project where we are going to be giving 5 more pet waste stations. They're called gladiator stations.
You say 5 more. So you've got some established?
Yeah.
Okay.
In the last grant, we gave 9 to the city of Sedona. And they've put in various trailheads, which helps
Gotcha.
benefit to the community.
Sure.
And also it prevents those dog feces from getting washed down in the stormwater and into the creek.
Right.
So we're giving them 5 more, and I've got funding for 15 on top of that 5, and we're going to be contacting private property owners in the Oak Creek corridor, mainly and hopefully HOAs. So the idea would be that we would reach an agreement with, say, an HOA, and we would give them one of these pet waste stations, and then they would look after the pet waste, and they would record it and bag it and
dispose of it properly.
Dispose of it properly, exactly. And so we would take that information and use it as to the load reduction of E. coli in the creek. So, and then I mentioned the video, and then we're hoping to put together a watershed guide book. And that'll be put together by strictly volunteers. So that'll have everything you want to know about our watershed and more.
It's an awful lot.
Yeah.
Seems like you'll be very busy. Now, are you hoping to get all this done in 2013? Is that the plan?
We have a 1-year grant with ADEQ.
Okay.
It started on May the 1st, so we're right out the gate.
Oh, so you just got started.
Just got it started, yes. We're just in the throes of getting it activated. And it'll finish on April the 30th of 2014. So
excellent.
Yeah.
Now, this brochure we've got right here, is this part of the program as well?
Actually, it is. That was actually part of the last grant, and that's a trifold brochure, and it has the information from our Oak Creek Community Outreach Program, which was basically put together and completed on by September 30th last year.
Well, this has got, it's like, okay, what is polluting Oak Creek? So it's got a slight description in there as to what's doing that, and then it's got all kinds of what you can do to help, which is very nice. Right. So where do you have these put up so that people visiting, and I guess locals should have a hold of it as well? But
sure, and we're in the process of doing that. It's at the Visitor Center, the Tourism Center. New Frontiers have been very supportive of our efforts. And it's in their store, and we're giving these away, at various meetings that we go to. We were at the shuttle meeting the other night, and we had a stack of them there for people. So any opportunities that we can give them away, that we do. And so, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's perfect. That's perfect. You stopped just in the right time. Barry Allen is in studio today. He's the executive director of the Oak Creek Watershed Council. I'm Paul David. This is Countywide. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
Move over, AZ. Arizona's move over law requires you to move over or slow down when you drive past any vehicle pulled over with flashing lights. Any vehicle means emergency responders, roadside assistance, law enforcement, highway crews, even stranded motorists. Ignore the law and you could pay a fine. Remember, every vehicle, every time. Move over, AZ.
Sponsored by ADOT in partnership with the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're going to beat them and bust them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little bit rowdy, R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a dad today. Call or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
Here in northern Arizona and throughout Yavapai County, people count on Orkin Pest Control. With over 100 years of combined experience, nobody knows how to protect your home or your business from harmful or annoying pests like the Orkin Man. To start service, contact your Northern Arizona Orkin Pest Control. In the Verde Valley, call 567-5100 or Orkin Pest Control in the Prescott area at 77.
Welcome back to Countywide. I'm Paul David. Good to have you in studio with us today. Barry Allen, the Executive Director of the Oak Creek Watershed Council, in studio. We've got Barry back kind of filling us in on the latest developments with the Watershed Council. They're working really strong with Oak Creek through Oak Creek Canyon. And is it all of Oak Creek that you're really focused on, or?
Yeah, it is.
Pretty much, it is, all the way down.
You know, a lot of these studies first started out with Oak Creek Canyon, but the E. coli happens all the way down to the confluence with the Verde. So our study, the one we've just completed, is from the headwaters of Oak Creek all the way down to the confluence. So
ADEQ gave you a grant recently. How much was that grant for, and where's that money come from?
Well, the amount of the grant is $253,326, and ADEQ have a cycle every year, a grant cycle every year, and they get the money from the Environmental Protection Agency. So they manage it on behalf of the state, and they look to watershed groups like ours. And our group is a targeted watershed group. Well, our group isn't, but our watershed is a targeted watershed.
Correct, right.
And it's one of 3 or 4 throughout the state which has a perpetual problem with E. coli. So, and the last grant was the same type of grant too. It really sets a priority on the areas that really need some help, and so. This grant is a follow-up to the Oak Creek Watershed Improvement Plan grant, the OC WIP grant that we just completed. And it basically, we're now in the stages of implementing the best management practices, or BMPs, that were laid out in the OC WIP. So it's as I said before, there's a technical project, and then there are several boots on the ground community outreach programs.
Well, you have to be doing something right, and you have to be getting it done on a relatively quick basis for ADEQ to look at you and say, okay, these guys, they're really serious about doing this, so let's give them some more money so we can, support them.
Yeah, and we're probably pretty well past that point because of the initial grant. This first grant that we got was probably close to $500,000, and they extended that. But yeah, it takes a while, for ADEQ to work with a group like ours, but we're a watershed group, and we've been that way since 2002. In order to become a watershed group, you have to put together a watershed-based plan. It has to be accepted by ADEQ, and they have standards and everything. But and then you build relationships with the staff,
sure.
and so over a period of time, you have a reputation for doing good work, and so then especially in our watershed, which is already targeted, it's kind of a hand-in-glove relationship. So it's not that we automatically get the monies from ADEQ, But when we do make an application, we get priorities on the monies because of the targeted end of things.
Well, everybody wants to see progress. I mean, they're not going to give money to somebody who's not getting the job done.
Absolutely.
So obviously you guys are getting that done. Let's switch gears. You talked about this last time you were here. What is it that we're seeing behind us? And we can't forget that we've got radio listeners as well as TV viewers. So the viewers are seeing it, but the listeners don't know exactly what it is. But it's, what is it, 3x3, a large map?
Yeah, this is my baby, actually.
Okay. What is this?
This is the Oak Creek Watershed terrain model.
Okay.
It's 38 inches wide and it's 48 inches long, and it's essentially it's a terrain model of the whole watershed, which is over 300,000 acres.
Wow.
And so the scale is 1 inch equals 4,000 feet on the horizontal, and we've exaggerated the elevation we doubled the elevation so that we could make sure that it stands out, and so that this is a functional tool for us. In other words, it's made out of fiberglass, and we use this on presentations. We'll take it into a schoolroom of students or a community group or whatever, and we can simulate quite easily rainwater, and so we just squeeze water, and the spray comes down, settles into the creek at the top, and then you can slowly see it coming down the creek to the bottom of the model on the left side, which is where the creek intersects with the Verde River at the confluence.
Just south of Cottonwood.
Exactly. And so I'll just point to that for the viewers. And there's a hole through there, and of course the water then goes into a bucket underneath. So,
I'd never seen one of these before, but that is really neat. So when you spray across the top, it doesn't just show Oak Creek carrying the water down, but it's got the grooves and the indentations as to the tributaries that may normally be dry, but when it does rain, like monsoon season, it'll pull all that water into Oak Creek, and it shows the terrain it's traveling over. I think that is really neat.
And of course, West Fork is continually has water in it. So, but the other ones, you're right. Sometimes they are dry. Pump House Wash, for instance, can be dry at parts of the year too. And what we also do is we also maybe add coffee grinds. And so when the coffee grinds dissolve in the water, it simulates erosion, soil erosion. And so when you see that coming down, it's interesting to see people's eyes kind of go wide. All of a sudden, they see the water's turned brown, and now we're able to explain this is what happens when the soil is eroded through a massive storm, and it starts dribbling down the creek. So.
Now, does it actually? Can you see where this sediment, this replicated sediment, pools up?
Not so, because of the scale.
Okay.
Yeah. This is a 1 inch equals 4,000 feet.
Right.
So you can't get a little pool simulated. But the main thrust of what we're trying to show people is that is how it actually gets into the creek. And whether you call it sediment or whether you call it pollution is the main thing that we're trying to get across. So anyway, and then it because of the elevation at the top end, it does make its way slowly down here, and it's kind of fun to watch, especially the school children. They get a big kick out of that.
Oh, I bet they do.
So we let them have a spray bottle, and they'll have a couple of sprays each, and that's...
It's a great education tool.
It is. It's a wonderful education tool, and we've shown it to the public. New Frontiers allowed us to put it outside, and every time we put it somewhere, Paul, we have 6 or 8 people that just gravitate towards it for the same reason that you have just said. You've never seen one.
I don't even get to see the water demo, but I think the water demo would be really neat. So I imagine you have to tilt that back a little bit and angle it just right.
Well, it has to sit on a flat table like this, and but because it's higher at the top and lower at the bottom, gravity just brings it down naturally. So
I'll be darned.
Yeah.
So we have to take another break. Barry Allen with the Oak Creek Watershed Council in studio today. For more information about the council, go to oakcreekwatershed.org. I'm Paul David. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break, and we'll be right back with more Countywide.
Move Move over, AZ. Arizona's move over law requires you to move over or slow down when you drive past any vehicle pulled over with flashing lights. Any vehicle means emergency responders, roadside assistance, law enforcement, highway crews, even stranded motorists. Ignore the law and you could pay a fine. Remember, every vehicle, every time. Move over, AZ.
Sponsored by ADA in partnership with the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're going to beat them and bust them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little bit rowdy. R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a dad today. Call or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
Here in northern Arizona and throughout Yavapai County, people count on Orkin Pest Control. With over 100 years of combined experience, nobody knows how to protect your home or your business from harmful or annoying pests like the Orkin Man. To start service, contact your Northern Arizona Orkin Pest Control. In the Verde Valley, call 567-5100 or Orkin Pest Control in the Prescott area at 775-8772.
Welcome back to Countywide. I'm Paul David. Barry Allen with the Oak Creek Watershed Council. He's the executive director in studio today. We've got a couple minutes left of the program, and you have some volunteer events coming up this weekend.
We sure do, and we'd love to have folks give us a call if you've got a few minutes or a couple of hours or whatever. We're planning to go and clean up 3 sites. The Forest Service has requested our services, and at Chavez Crossing, at Grasshopper Point, and Slide Rock. So.
3 very busy areas.
Very busy areas, yeah. And our volunteers will be meeting and greeting. They'll actually be ambassadors. They'll be picking up some trash, and so just give us a call and or go to our website and drop us a note.
Okay, all right. That's oakcreekwatershed.org, and I'm sure you have plenty of cleanups going on throughout the summer. I mean, this is the busiest time of the year for Oak Creek.
It is. We're in season. We are so busy, and it's not just the cleanups. You know, our whole program goes now for the next year, actually, but in the next 6 months, it's very intense.
You got to think of all the places to volunteer to do a cleanup project. What a great backdrop!
Unbelievable.
You know, the canyon.
Yeah. And it is so rewarding, Paul, with the camaraderie, and folks just love it.
Well, good. I'm glad to see you guys are moving forward and getting things done. That's great, Barry. So
thanks, Paul.
Thanks for coming in. That's today's Countywide. Again, go to oakcreekwatershed.org for all the information about the group. I'm Paul David. This is Countywide. We'll talk to you again next time.
This has been Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Listen in each Tuesday and Thursday as we tackle the hot topics and talk to the decision makers across Yavapai County. That's Countywide with Brad Miller and Paul David each Tuesday and Thursday on this Yavapai Broadcasting station.